few seconds to kind of come on. Let me go on Facebook now and see if we're.
Good morning, everybody. This is Vinny Chopra and Mr. Bo Eckstein coming live from San Francisco and Las Vegas. Wow, what a bridge. Hey, Bo, good morning.
Good morning to you, Vinny. Vinny, Happy New Year.
So
Happy New Year.
About 2020 and that we are getting our show back on the air already, and just excited about not only this year 2020 but 2030 also, a decade, because 2019 we have kind of grown up, we have gone from a teenager to adult, maybe whatever. So 2020 is the year that we can make things happen, and we're going to discuss a lot of strategies today, right?
Yes, very good. Very good. It's already 2020. We're already 10 days in.
Yes.
So we gotta, if you haven't already started to put it in, full speed, we gotta start today, because it's before you know it, the month's gonna be over.
Totally. Hey, before we go any further, I want to congratulate you, Bo, getting married.
Yeah.
Got married in December. Wow, fabulous.
Thank you. Yes, it's a new world, and when I was 42, never been married, so it's new, right? And everything you got to learn how to be a married man, and but it's very good. I think it actually balances you out, because I've been a bachelor for all this time. So she has a lot of skills that I don't. Like, she's very organized, right? And I've never had my clothes folded. So yeah,
so your point. No, definitely. Hey, you just got married, and Kanchan and I will be celebrating 40th wedding anniversary. Hold on, I don't want to tell you how old I am, everybody. But this year we'll be celebrating 40th anniversary with the grace of God, and I'm so happy for you and your lovely wife, and that's exciting. That's exciting. I think you're right. I think the millennials, the young people like you, they are getting married later on in life. Our kids also, Neil and Monica, like that. So, that's all in the air. I mean, we need to have that great reunion. It's so important. And that is what it's all about, the culture. I hope that in the next decade or 20 years from now, our whole divorce rate in USA goes down, because it's pretty high, right?
Yeah, and that actually brings up a good point, because if you look at marriage and you look at business, there's a lot of marriage is essentially a business, right? Like, I mean, at the end of the day, in the beginning, it's lust. Okay, you guys have an attraction, but that is just in the beginning, and things wear off. And so, like anything, like any partnership, it's the same thing. You have to work at it every day, and I think it's a good, you have to look at it like a business, right? It's yes, you're in love, but there's lust in the beginning, and so you have to really look like, hey, this is a long-term thing, and we have to work together. And we're not always going to see eye to eye, right? Like business partners.
Yep. Never.
And so the key is just have good communication.
You said it. Oh my God, bro. Communication, open, frank. Communication is so very important. I know Kanchan and I fight maybe once or twice a year, but the thing is that you gotta just be, understanding and respecting, right? The space, and also giving 100%. It's not a 50% partnership. It's a 100% partnership. Many times I talk about that, and harmony. That's the other word, actually, is harmony, living in harmony, in balance and everything. As some of my friends who are from India, we call it a little bit different. Harmony can be also said harmanly. Okay, harmanly, if you say, means I give up. You say, honey, you are right, I give up, or something. Anyway, so that's something, we can talk about. But, it's very exciting that you're saying with the new beginning, I think in the first week of January, even people should start thinking about the next year, of course, in December, in November, because we want to do new strategies. We want to put into action new plans. We want to see what went right, what went wrong. In the 2019 and things like that, we designed some really good goal sheets for our coaching students and things like that. But the exciting part is to find out what the whys are. See, what were the whys last year or year before? Those whys change. Why we work hard every day, that shifts as we grow older and things like that, right? Or younger, I say always, right? Every birthday you get 1 year younger rather than older. But the key thing is to crystallize your goals, because by crystallizing your goals, the whys for 2020, what 3 top goals are for 2020, and what your 3 goals are for the first quarter of 2020, and then of course quarterly goals, monthly goals, weekly goals, and daily goals, right? That is so important. The other part about the whole equation is we are a total person. So when we say we are a total person, what are our goals in business and career? What are the financial and investments goals? What are personal growth and intellectual goals? What are environmental and tribe, our social circle goals, lifestyle and adventure goals? Oh my gosh, wow. And then health and fitness. Actually, health and fitness, I'll put a little bit higher up, in this form. And then spiritual and contribution goal. And then, of course, friends, family, and relationship goals. Wow. So, we are a total product of all these different things I just talked about. And we do need to put the time. See, the thing is, I read a study that people spend more time planning their Christmas vacation in the whole year than planning their life. Oh my gosh.
That's so true. And actually, for me, I feel overwhelmed sometimes because it's like, oh, I got to do all this stuff.
Yeah.
But I learned that if I write down my list the night before, what I need to accomplish the next day, right?
Yes.
And don't make it like 30 items. Make it like 5 core items, right?
Correct.
Just like you're saying.
Yes.
And then imagine if the next day you wake up, you go through your morning routine, right?
Yep.
And then you just gracefully, peacefully accomplish those 5 items on your kind of planner or your to-do,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And now it's 11 in the morning, and you've already accomplished a whole day's worth of work at 11 a.m., right? I've already accomplished those 5 goals. So think, you could almost do 2 mini days in one day, and just think about your production level without being stressed out. And I think that's critical.
That is so very true. But what you just said, without being stressed out, that is the key also. So much, because if you are stressed, if you are having a lot of stresses in our life, you'll break down. I mean, that's about it, right? Stresses are like the friction in the moving parts of a machine, and what happens when there is scratching and scuffing and all that and wearing off the part in an automobile or anything like that. Same way in our body also, right? Not only our health, our limbs, all the things, but mental stress is the worst stress. The imbalance and the mental stress and the feeling poorly about yourself, the self-image and all that, those kind of stresses can really put you down and break you. So it's so important what you just said. You want to pace yourself with a focused attack, right? Focused attack of reaching the goals on a daily basis. And then, stretching also. That's the other part. Many times human nature is to be in the comfort zone most of the time. But if we can just make a little decision to get out of comfort zone a little bit, and then we will be seeing, oh my gosh, so much more can be done, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I know for me, who I've been in sales my whole life, in some way, or we're all in sales really, but
We are.
if you're
Yeah.
but we tend to do in general, I'm not speaking about everybody, but I'll speak for myself, is that we do the activities that are comfortable, right? But
Yeah.
the minute we have to like get on there and prospect like a cold referral, most of us get nervous, right? We're like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, and then we look to do something else. But those are not money making activities, guys. We got to focus our attention to the money making activities. That's how you make money.
So
Yeah.
true. So very true. I mean, I did a study many, many years back to really see how I'm spending time as an executive of the company in professional fundraising, director, and things like that. It was mind boggling when I started writing down how much time. I think I did a study over the whole week, and Bo, it hit me in the head, totally in the head, how less time I was spending with prospects, how less time I was spending with myself preparing for the presentations, which would have given me better control of the situation when I sat down with my prospects or investors or clients and things like that. All of us have, right? How do we get our businesses are by helping other people get what they want in having win-win-win situations. So that is so important what you just said, to really allocate time and watch our time. How much is the downtime? How much is the slush time? How much is the email and the social media time nowadays? Telephone time. I mean, it can bog you down. It can bog you down. I don't want to show you my desk, but anybody, I used to have my clean desk, right? Always. But guess what? I would rather spend time talking to investors and brokers and attorneys and other people rather than cleaning my desk. I'll hire somebody to do that.
That leads me to kind of the first question I have today, which I thought was a
Sure,
good question to ask.
please.
Is Let's imagine that you today had no real estate experience,
Sure.
and you were a W-2 employee
Mhm.
making $80,000 a year. You're living in the Bay Area, barely making it by, or wherever you're living, let's just say,
Yes. Yes.
and now you made a decision, an affirmation to become a real estate investor.
Sure.
Okay, and what would you do today? And actually, you can use your experience that you've had in the past. But if you were new today, what
Sure.
advice for 2020 for somebody who wants to get out of the rat race? Okay, that's kind of an overplayed word, but it's true, right? A lot of us out there are like, okay, I'm making money, but I'm in this I'm on the rat race, right? I'm
Yeah.
on this treadmill that's never ending, and it's like I make money, I spend money, I make money, and then I look at my bank account and there's never any money in there. But I know real estate's created more wealth, in general for Americans than anything else. So what do I do today to change my life to become, by the end of 2020, I want to make a noticeable change?
Mhm.
And what would you recommend?
That's a very good point. Very good. I'm glad you're asking that question, Bo. Everything, I'm just trying to put it together that this individual has not invested in real estate yet. Maybe they have some savings. Hopefully they do. But if they don't have savings, it'll be hard job. But whatever we have, many
Uh,
times we don't really all if we are owning a home, a lot of people already know they could take line of credit, right? A HELOC, or take refinancing. Money is so cheap right now, 3.25%, 3.5%. Those are the times which are never will come back again, I think. The key thing is to have the savings or the dead money that we might have somewhere which is not making money. See, that's the thing. We need to have to understand to financially read and get educated how we could use the money we have. then I will say how little somebody has, or medium or high level of money. But please get into real estate. You could do passively or you could do actively. You could do turnkey projects to buy like a duplex. I always say duplex. I never say single family, even though we own a lot of single family homes. But I have come to realize it's much better to get a duplex, triplex, fourplex, eightplex, and now we are buying like 300 unit apartments, right? But the key thing is to make a shift in mind that I'm going to invest the money to make more money. See, because in the bank accounts, we are losing money actually. Inflation rate is at 2%, 2.35%, I heard. So if we are making only 0.1% in the interest rate, but the inflation is devaluing the money that much, 2.5%. Oh my gosh, we are losing money, right? Even with CDs and other things like that. So I think education is a big part. Also, retirement money. There is $27 trillion with a T, $trillion retirement money. Majority of that is stuck in the Wall Street, So it's all in the Wall Street, but only 3 to 4%, I was told, is in the real estate. So by self-directing our retirement plans, educating ourselves, we could shift that money from the Wall Street into real estate also. Since I'm total proponent of the real estate, I like to say diversify. Diversifying is the word. So when you ask me, Vinny, what would you do in 2020? I would say definitely diversify. Look at your savings, what you have. Maybe get into a duplex, quadplex like that. If not in California, in the Bay Area, you can't afford much. Let's go to other states, right? Like we talked about Texas. There were more people that entered the state of Texas last year than any other state. It's amazing. Our baby boomers, of course, they are retiring. 10,000 baby boomers are retiring every day in USA. So what that tells me is that these are the baby boomers, again, who, and millennials are making more money too, by the way. So millennials are liking portability, as we talked about before, and apartments also make very big case, for us to invest in.
You made some good points. I'm going to go back. So first step today, if you were to start over, you would first work on your mindset. Okay, yes. You would change the mindset to positive energy, and to kind of like many of us have limiting beliefs. So you got to work the mindset first. Then number 2 is education.
Yes.
And then number 3 is really like, what resources do you have today, right? So if you don't have any money, can you find the money with retirement accounts? Can you find the deals, right? So you might not need money in the bank, but you need financial capabilities, meaning you need to be able to put the deals together. Like if I find a multifamily property, I might not have the money to close on it. Let's say it's not a syndication deal. It's just it's a 30 unit building, but it's a good deal.
Yep.
Right. I find the deal, I tie it up, I educate myself on underwriting a deal. And then I find a financial friend or financial friends like Vinny, who might have a couple $100,000 laying in a retirement account that he wants to put to work.
Sure.
And he becomes my financial friend. So, I think that's great. First, it's the mindset shift, and then educate yourself in real estate investing and ways to create passive income.
So true, so true. But it's the idea that the money, stationary money, is not making us money. We are losing the effect of money because of inflation, deflation, like that. And, we have had the biggest bull, 12-year bull. Oh my gosh, that's the longest bull, I think, statistically, with the market being so high. So I like to kind of diversify. I'm sure people believe in that too, diversification. So I know I put a lot of cash on the side because there might be some correction coming, right? That's the other thing. So a lot of people might just not stay in the, not even be looking at the market, but you got to see the real estate market. If there is a correction coming, there'll be opportunities. So I think that's wonderful for us to really get educated and be poised to jump in, to do something so that you can get cash flow coming. Cash flow coming. That's the name of the game.
And the thing too is like, if I could go back myself, flipping properties is great, but it's a business, it's a job.
Yeah.
And you're getting chunks of change. But if I look back and I go, okay, when I was flipping those houses in 2010, 11, if I was just buying, fixing, and holding those as rentals and letting the market, when there's a downturn,
yes,
you got to ride the downturn out, and you're going to ride it out with high cash flowing properties, right? Because you're not going to get affected, even if rents drop. If you're buying correctly, it doesn't matter. The thing's gonna cash flow. It's going to pay for itself. Then when there's blood in the streets, when people don't love real estate, right now everybody loves real estate. Oh, I'm a real estate guru. When there's blood in the streets, that's when you swoop in, and in that window, you can see people making huge amounts of money because nobody wants it. Now everybody wants it, right? And then when everybody wants it, you sell, and then
So true. Those are the market cycles. What you're just explaining, which is so true, because a lot of people, even in my circle and my students in the academy and all that, they have been asking, should we jump in? In the market. I say, if you don't jump in, how would you find out when the low comes and when the high? You have to be in the game, and you just don't get the product come to you sitting on the desk. We have to make efforts to talk to the property management companies who are managing these assets, smaller multifamily or duplexes, triplexes, whatever, and then also the brokers. See, the brokers, when the seller reaches the brokers, then they will be only giving to those people who they've been talking to. They will not assume, oh yeah, so-and-so wants, he's staying on the outside. I should send the property to that person. So anyway, I think the big thing is education, like you said, and being in the market. Yep.
And you got to show up every day. I'm actually reading or listening to another book that I want to say that I like so far. It's been really good.
Which one?
It's called Atomic Habits by James Clear.
Oh, Atomic Habits. Wow. Okay. Oh, Atomic Habits. I like it. It.
Yeah, it's it's things we know anything.
I'm reading this one, The Pitch Anything. That's a great, great book. We talked in the starting of the program that we are all salespeople. We are. We like to, have win-win situations. That's how our companies grow. That's how people. So we always are persuading and winning the deals, to really be able to have win-win situations. The more we understand the psychology of the people across from us, we will be doing better decision making and things like that, right?
Yeah, I read that book too, and I really liked it. Yeah, I mean, there's so much knowledge out there. If you're not, that's the other thing too. Is you got to be tapping into the. You should be reading a book a month at least, right? You got to be reading. You're always reading. You're always looking at, like what you just talked about. How Texas was the #1 state of migration, right? More people are moving there. Right. I read that article too, and Florida's up there, right? Arizona, Nevada.
Yep.
When I'm driving around here in Nevada, I am blown away with how many apartments are being built right now. Wow. An unbelievable amount of apartments. Everywhere you look, new houses. Now, in a market cycle, right, they might overbuild at some point, but right now you can see that there's such rapid growth in Nevada right now. There, people are. I think people like. Okay, we can look at my parents, for example. It's like they don't need to live in California anymore.
Yeah.
So they're selling their house. They're going to take some of their equity and buy a house here that's more affordable, right, and lower their. So they're out here on vacation, and I've been showing them some properties. So that's why I've been looking at all the new construction. And it's quite amazing. So you're seeing a lot of migration. You're seeing Florida. You're seeing Texas. Like, and that's also where the job growths are. In places like that, strong job growth. So it's interesting to see what's going on. And I think as investors or new investors, we have to be looking at that as well, because those are signs of what's going to come down the road in 2 or 3 years.
That's so right. I'm glad you mentioned it, and maybe this will be a good segue to kind of share with you, Bo, and also to the team or who is kind of looking at it, that Monil, our brand, we are opening up some new divisions, to our company, and one of them is Monil Senior Living, because as you know, there are so many, like I just said, 10,000 baby boomers are retiring and they are downsizing. Quite a few of them are downsizing. So they want to go from a single family home, larger home, down to a senior living, where it's a smaller home maybe, or even senior, quarters, or we say units, right? Single story, things like that. So I'm very, very excited about this special partnership that we are starting right now. It took us about a couple of months to get it going, but working with our partners who have done 14 of these ground up constructions and then also sold them and managed them. So very, very excited about it. I think that's something for all us to really look at, how the demographics are changing and how the buying habits are also changing, right? So we got to move with the change of the flow. To really survive in any kind of industry, we need to be always looking at what's in the future, right? And then change accordingly.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, if you look at the people that bought those medallion taxi companies, like 3 years before, they spent $1 million, and then all of a sudden Uber comes and just wipes them out.
Yeah.
So you always got to be paying attention. I mean, you look at it, any industry, like real estate agents, right? They're going to potentially, in some capacity, be replaced by the Zillows, by the Open Doors, all this stuff, right?
So true. So very true. Yes. Yes.
So we always have to evolve our businesses, and like your syndication model, I like, because it's like you're in it for 5 to 7 years, right?
Right.
And that's the model, right? And you can maximize the profits, then get out and then buy new, and recycle.
So true. So
take advantage of those windows, and then maximize the earnings for everybody, the passive investors and the general partners, right? Versus holding for 30 years and only owning 2 assets. Now you can own, over the next 10 years, you might own 100 different assets and maximize your profits that way.
So true. So very true. No, I agree with you. And with our senior living construction from ground up, our hold will be only 3 years, by the way, 2 or 3 years. And we are also thinking about doing 1031s. So like bucket 1, bucket 2. So investors can come in 2 different buckets in the syndication, which they can do it. And we'll take the majority of the bucket to the next deal and the next deal, so that 1031, they don't have to pay capital gains. And their increased capital from the first, what they put in, will be invested into the second deal and the third deal. And then they can cash out after 3 or whenever they want to. So it's always good to look at outside the box. How can we bring the best possible options for the investors? So that's pretty exciting. Yeah.
What markets are you guys looking at, or what markets have you been in for the senior living? Are you looking like Florida markets like that?
Definitely. We are starting, our first project is in Punta Gorda. We have done the feasibility study. We bought the land already. And then also we have permits all gotten. Next month, we'll get all the permits totally done. So when we do the groundbreaking, that's when we do the syndication model, so that we don't want to keep the money for 6-7 months sitting there, because it takes about 6-7 months to get the permits, by the way, to get the feasibility study, the permits, everything. And then after that, we can build it. Our partner, he has built it. His company has built, and he's the owner, CEO, and they have built 14 or 16 of them, of those. And we are in Florida right now. will be also looking in Virginia and Michigan. So those are the three places, at this time. We are looking into Arizona also, by the way.
Good, good, good. Yeah, I'm looking in. I just started because I'm about an hour, 40 minutes from the border of Arizona, being in Las
Yes,
Vegas.
yes,
So, I've been looking there too because I think there's a lot of opportunity,
yes.
around here and also in Arizona. So that's good. And so how many? What's the kind of model? Are you guys building 50 to 200 units? I mean, they're going to be single story,
Yeah,
like.
story. We are looking at about 92 to 115, units. So they are medium size. They are not 200, 300, because we don't believe in double, two-story because of senior living. So that's why we need more land, because it's got stretched out, a little bit more, with the theater inside, with cafes, with spas, with commercial kitchen, dining, entertainment place, all the very nice things. So it's a luxury senior living what we are building.
And they're like, are they attached patio homes kind of? Is
Yes,
that
they are.
okay?
As patios. Yep, yep, yep.
So the model there is you buy the dirt as cheap as possible. Obviously,
Right.
you bring the plans, you go through entitlement process. Now you have an approved project.
Yes.
You do that all with your own funds or with a small select group of people. Now you have a entitled piece of dirt worth a lot more money because now it has plans to build.
Yes.
Then you go and get like a life insurance construction loan, right? At
Yeah.
pretty good cost, and then you bring in additional funds if needed from your syndication investors.
Exactly, exactly. You're right, about 30% or so, the syndication money, and we are trying to build it for about 125 to 130,000 per unit. Can you believe it? That cheap, and that's like about $12 million project. We can build in about year and a half. It takes us, and then we sell it. We ramp it up, sell it for about 18 million. So not
So
bad.
so then it's just pretty much the same syndication model. There's a little
Yes.
differences because you're building. So then the idea is that you bring in a professional management company. Probably not you're not going to do the management because your plan
No,
is
we will not.
right. So you bring in a
My
professional
partner
manager.
has the team. My
Yeah,
partner has the team,
yeah.
and then we'll be able to kind of ramp it up. We don't plan to continue managing forever, but just to get it started, right? Because that's how we are planning. Yeah.
Right. And then so then what happens is then you guys get it occupied. Now it's at 99 or 97% occupancy. Now, just like an apartment building, it's now worth a ton more because it's got cash flow, right?
Sure. Sure.
It's based on a cap rate, like
Yeah.
everything in commercial real estate.
Yep.
Then then you find like a REIT or something like that that says, okay, well, they want an A property where they don't have to think about anything. They put management in place and they have tons of money. They come in, they buy it. You guys you and your investors make $5 million
Yeah.
and everybody's happy. Your investors are happy. The REIT's happy because they have a stabilized asset that's brand new with limited and no maintenance pretty much. And it's professionally managed. So
You're
this is
so
actually,
right about it. Bo, you're right. REITs, the real estate, trusts, but also a lot of HMOs are also looking into where they want to also look at the quality that my partner has been building. So they've given a carte blanche. This is a billion or trillion dollar. I have to look into it. But they have said everything we built, they will like to give a first right of refusal. If they can buy anything we build, that's even better, because then we have a market for it. And of course, if we can get more in the open market, they still have that the in front of us that they would love to purchase. You're right.
yeah,
Yes.
no, I love the model, and that's, I mean, obviously we know that the baby boomers, what they're doing. I mean, it's evident that people are downsizing, and it's also evident that people are happy if it's affordable. They're going to go from owning some house to living
Yeah.
somewhere where they have a fixed payment and everything's pretty much done for them. All they have
Yeah.
to do is make a payment, and then they know, okay, I'm 80 years old or 75 years old. I'm still in good shape, but I know I can afford this $1,500 or $1,800 payment for this
Yeah.
beautiful property that I don't have to maintain.
So true. So true.
So yeah, that's a great business model as well. And you know, so obviously, you know, Vinny, you've had a lot of success with multifamily, but in the same token, you know that there's other opportunities because a lot of people now, because your name's out there more, right? So
Yeah.
people know, are starting to really, I mean, they already know who you are, right? People know you. So now people are bringing you a lot of opportunities. So you have to kind of vet what makes sense, you know, because, right, you have to keep, you're building all these companies because you're growing now, right? Like you're growing leaps and bounds. So it's like you you have to put systems in place. So it seems like a lot of times you're now connecting with, you're finding like the rock star players and you're partnering with them, you know, like you're with the multifamily group that you're Enzo, right? You're partnering with them on
You
a lot of
said
these.
that, you're right, Bo. If I may, in the same context, I was not going to mention it, but I would love to. I'm also starting a brand new company, which is on digital branding 2030. That's the name of our company, because I really believe where this whole company and the world is going is digital, and it's going with the branding of any name, any company, any anybody who wants to do successful business nowadays. People like to find you, Google you, LinkedIn you, and find what's written about you and the comments and everything. So my partners in India, we are collaborating also. They are very successful, and they've been doing my branding quite successfully. So we have started a brand new company, Digital Branding 2030, where we'll be representing them whole USA, where my company will be their face here, and we'll hire some salespeople and all, and that will be very nice company also. The other company I wanted to mention, it's been a time of dreaming. I always have been a dreamer, but Oxygen is also the other company. You know about that too, which is we're trying to become the open door for multifamily, where a seller can call Oxygen .vip. It's running, by the way. That startup company is already running, and Oxygen .vip is the website where people can call us and say, I want to sell my multifamily of 20 units, 30 units, 100 units. What's the fair price? And we'll buy that in 2 weeks. Wow. So it's the same model as Open Door, but we are doing it for apartments. So I just wanted to mention that. And then, of course, the academy. My academy is doing quite well. I want to share something with you. I'm very excited. Now we are starting a new Monil education branch of my company, which is going to be providing my techniques and my things for very elementary. There are a lot of investors who don't know anything about anything, but they cannot do syndication at all, but they have the desire to buy their first apartment, their desire to really get going. So that is my new education platform I'm putting together, which will be able to offer at $990, only $990. And our goal is to reach 500,000 people with that one. So that's going to be exciting. We're building it. 9 people staff is working together with educators and filmmaking people and everything, that we are putting it together. So that will be a very exciting one too. Yeah.
That's great, because a lot of syndication to many people, and even myself, I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to buy this $20 million property or $10 million property, and I'm going to have 40 people that lend me money, lend this syndication money, and it's scary in the beginning, right? Like, I mean, I'm sure once you do your first big syndication, okay, you can breathe.
Yes.
And you get the right team, but in the beginning it's nerve-wracking, right? And people that are just getting started aren't ready for syndication.
Yeah.
They got to take their baby steps. They got to go out and buy their first duplex, and they got to, maybe even they live in one side and they rent the other side out. They got to learn these techniques first
Sure.
to build the confidence level up. I mean, I think that's critical for sure.
That is so very true. So very true. So very true.
So
No,
you're
I'm 100% with you on that, So, no, that is so special what you're saying, because you got to make sure. Oh my gosh, I was just going to ask you. Yeah, I'm glad you're going a little bit higher, because my head was way higher.
I know. You know what? It's because my computer screen. So my goal is to get this where I want to make I got to get the lights that you have.
Totally.
Right?
Yes.
And I got to get this at the right level. I have one of those Logitech cameras, but I got to but going back to what was it? Digital 360.
Yeah.
Okay.
The digital branding.
2030.
Digital branding, because everybody will have to do personal branding, company branding, and that's what it involves. And there are a lot of people out there, right? They could do a good job, but who can offer it at a very reasonable cost? I always have believed that, a lot of starting out investors and starting out new companies, they don't have money funds, right? They don't. So we want to cater to them, give them the best service at a very, very low price. Not very low, but reasonable price. So we'll be attacking Silicon Valley in my backyard right here. And I would like anybody who's listening to me or talking or listening and watching to reach out to Vinny Chopra. Vinny Chopra, I'll have, there we go. Now we are kind of the same height there. I like that. I should even move this a little bit down. Now I can see. I wish I had opened up my, iPhone to look at myself and you. No, that's good, John. I mean, but the thing is, digital branding 2030. That's why we are saying the name, not 2020, but digital branding for 2030, this next decade. It's going to be so very important to build yourself the special brand recognition so that people will like to do business with you.
And touching on that, I've always said I want to start a podcast for financing, because that's what I do for my day job, right?
Yes.
So I'm going to start a podcast called InvestorFinancingPodcast.com. It's going to be called Investor Financing Podcast, and it's going to be all about how to get the money. And then we're going to interview people like you on syndication. We're going to interview commercial lenders. We're going to interview hard money lenders. We're going to interview SBA lenders. It's going to be the money show, so people learn the basics of, like, how do I get the funding? If I'm not doing a syndication, what's available for me? So I love
that, Bo. I would love to introduce you to Alicia, my co-host of my podcast, and she does 2 podcasts for me every week. And I only spend 4 hours. That's all, 4 hours. Actually, after this show, today I'm dressed up a little bit more because I'm going to kill 5 shows today. 5 shows. So the whole month is done. She takes over. She's very good. If you want me to, I would love to introduce you to her, or anybody. As a matter of fact, she's very reasonable. She's very professional. She got my book also, #1. She's my publisher too. So she's got the marketing insight, in real estate, actually, how to take your book to be #1. She promised me, right? She says, Vinny, I'll make your book #1. I didn't believe her. And look at that. I've got 122 5-star ratings, international top seller. I'm just kind of putting a plug for her. She's a good lady. But also my podcast, I don't have to worry nothing. She plans the notes, everything, the questions. She sends it to me, and then we kill it. Like after this show, I'm going to do 5 podcasts today, which will be given out to our digital teams and all that. So I'm glad you're planning to do that. I'm so happy. I see that, to show your strength in the marketplace, you got to write blogs, you got to have social presence, and podcast is a very good way to do that with minimum effort and minimum cost wise too, by the way. It doesn't cost arm and a leg. I like that.
Well, yeah, I mean, let's I mean, whatever you do, you need brand awareness, right? You need authority in whatever you do. So
Yeah.
it's only if I do investor financing for a living,
Yes.
if I don't tell every investor out there that what I do and what I could offer them and the advantages of working with me, then
Yes.
I'm doing a disservice to everybody, right? Because the more people that I help, it's right. That's the goal, to help more people.
Totally. Totally.
And if I could provide better leverage, cheaper cost of funds to people,
Yes.
then I need to get that out there. If I could teach people ways to burr properties that they might not know, where they can get their money back and invest in more properties, right? So I enjoy working with newer investors.
Yes.
Although it's hard sometimes because they just don't know anything, right?
Yeah.
But
That's
but
true.
they have to plug in, and so I'm here to help the new investors as well as the seasoned investors. Did my screen go out?
Oh no, no,
Oh,
you're doing
oh,
fine. You're doing
oh.
fine. I'm watching you on the right side on my phone also. I know I'm so excited that we are starting today. We have been talking for 45 minutes. I would like to invite our audiences who are watching us even later on. We would like to promote it so that we can have more people asking us questions, because this show is for the audience, right? I mean, Bo, we love doing it. The key thing is if we can cater to certain people who are seeking financial independence, who are taking their business to a new level, that's what we are talking about. So our show can take a lot more structure if the viewers can send us some more comments and like us and forward it to your friends, so that we can make a lot more good content to all of you.
That's awesome. Now, going back, your goal setting paper documents you created.
Yes,
How do
yes.
people get? Will you give those out to people that are?
Oh, totally. I would love to. We have designed some very wonderful documents, and they are for free. By the way, my students are paying 25,000 now to be coached by me and all. And our courses have increased in value, but we'll give this out for free. Please just email John, John at vinnychopra.com. That's the easiest way to get it. Or text the word learn, 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 to 474747. And I'm sure, Bo, you can also have some kind of texting, or, so that audience can reach you for your, investments. Yeah. For loans, buddy. Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually a great idea. See, right?
Totally.
We're going back to the digital 2030, guys. Like
Yes.
you got to get out there. You got to get your name out there, right? Like I got to get my name out there. Like I'm learning this
Sure.
simple tip right there, right? Like why don't I have a simple platform if people want loan information?
Totally, totally. And it's very easy, 474747. Anybody who's listening to us, we are not getting any money from this service, but just Google them, and it's only $20 or something per month. That's it. And you can have your word, whatever you want, right? In your case, you might like financing or whatever. Have your assistant call them, and let's set that up so that you can also say, text the word finance to 474747 to reach your clients. And as soon as somebody texts, by the way, to let everybody know, you get an email right away in your iPhone or Android that so and so has said this word, and then you reach back. And that's a good way of lead capturing, So it's social media, but also you want to make sure that you are doing your best to capture good leads in the business, right?
Yeah, yeah. Okay, we should probably end because we're at
Sure.
50 minutes. But
Totally.
before we leave, what now with all the entities and the businesses you're creating? Okay, like that seems very overwhelming for people.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know with the LLCs I have and things, like it's coming to tax time. It's like I have a sense of like anxiousness, right? Because I know by the 31st of this month, I have any 1099s I got to get sent out. So it's critical to find the right contract, independent contractors and so forth. That I have a tax person, that I have the right digital partners, that I have the right virtual assistants, right? Like that's
Yes.
what you've gotten really good at, outsourcing and delegating. And that's what, like, for somebody like me who's, an entrepreneur but doesn't have as much established, that's where I'm struggling right now, and
Yeah.
I'm watching
No,
you.
I'm
And
with you. I'm totally with you, Bo. I think the biggest thing is, as a leader, you want to find out and make a decision because your time is worth a lot more. You're having extra time, and if you're able to get a virtual assistant company, accounting company, the 1099 company, right? There are so many bookkeeping services right there in Henderson. So I'm going to ask you to Google right after this call, right, Bo, and talk to one or two of them. There are some part-time moms who are good accounting services they are running from their home office, right? So they can be doing these things for us. Like in my case, because I've graduated that past that, I have a whole accounting department. I have VP of accounting, I have VP of operation, I have VP of asset managers, then I've got investor relations VP, right? But I started doing everything myself too, just like you. But the thing is, we want to get virtual assistants. I've got 9 virtual assistants working for me right now all over the world. So they're so inexpensive, but they get the job done. That's the part. And then, John Rusin is my vice president of the academy now. Then I'm starting the senior living. We are going to have something, digital branding. We're going to have something in charge so that I can walk away and I can have the dashboards of every business where on the top executive CEO level, I can look at all these businesses doing well. See, I believe in hiring the right team members and then giving them the authority to make decisions. Because the worst thing can happen is if I'm in every single thing. That's not how the world goes. So my thinking is to start 15 companies, by the way. And I have now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have 10 now because I didn't even talk about the cloud defense company that we have started with my partner and Monil Hospitality. We just bought a Hilton Garden Inn, by the way, a hotel also. So we are getting into that also.
that's awesome, though. I love it. And you know what's, you don't need to work anymore. Let's face it.
No, I don't.
You could go off and do whatever you want. You have enough money. But your life would be boring for you.
It will be totally boring, I'm telling you. Yeah.
I mean, you love business and you love helping people and you love energy. You love feeding off of people's energy, and that's why you're going to do it. So, I mean, you'll probably be, 95 years old still doing what you're doing, right? I mean, you travel a lot. I mean, you travel more than most people. Let's face
Yeah.
that. But you're always there. With technology, you're still working, but I mean, you travel the world.
Yes.
But it's good to see, like, you have such passion for
Thank you.
life and for business. Like, it's always funny because I'll be on a text chain with Vinny, and then like at like 5, 4 in the morning, I'm getting texts, and I don't mind because I get up early. But it's like I'm looking at like Eric, because I know Eric sleeps till 10 in the morning. But I think I love the fact that I know. I mean, he's getting texts at 4 in the morning, and he's sleeping until 9:30. But yeah, I mean, it's just the energy that you have. I mean, you're not young, but what are you, 60s? What, 60?
68. I'll be 68 in August. I know my wife tells me, you're only 67. You're not 68 yet. Why do you keep on saying that? But 2020, I feel like, I'm 67 now, but I just have the heart of maybe 37 or whatever, and the energy. I just love that. Yeah.
And I'm watching you, like when we went to Atlanta to look at your apartments a year ago, whenever it was like I was watching you, and it's you're very efficient. Whenever you do something, and it's like you handle it right there. You nip it in the butt, and I think we all need to be more like that to get right, because you can accomplish like right now, I in my mind right now, I have all these things to do. But really, if I just focus for 1 hour, I could do all this stuff that I'm
Yes.
anxious about doing. So it's really just getting in there and just boom, you just focus and get it done. It's that easy. What do they call it? Eating the frog or something like that? I think that's
Yes,
it.
yes, yes. So true, so true. Small, small things really bother us many times. They make us inefficient, but it's good to just jot them down and then just look at the A priorities, B, C, D. On my thing for 25 years, I kept the logo prioritize and delegate. Prioritize and delegate and mindset. Those are the three words I kept reminding myself. And that's what anybody can do, really. Because once you make up your mind, you say, I want to prioritize, I can only take care of A and B items, C and D, I'm going to delegate. You have your, thing, conquered right there.
I love it. I love it. Well, I know you got 5 more podcasts to do, so
Yes,
you
I'm
better
so
get some
fired up.
you better get some hot tea so you don't lose your voice. And then we'll plan a trip so you can come here on a
Sure.
work vacation, and
Yes, yes.
we'll go to. I have a new sushi restaurant that is the
Oh, I
best.
love sushi. I love sushi,
I
buddy.
got the best sushi restaurant. The guy's from Japan. It's
Oh
like
my gosh.
it's like it's like authentic as you can be in the States, at least. So, and it's
I love it.
delicious.
And the Indian restaurant Taj Mahal you said
Yes.
yesterday. So I
Oh,
can't wait to enjoy both cuisines.
oh
Yeah.
yeah. All right. Well, we'll
Take
see
care,
everyone.
man. Take care. Thank you, everybody who is watching us or will be watching us later on. We appreciate you. Hold on, stay with us, and we'll bring great comments and great ideas, great materials for you. 2020 belongs to us. Ride the wave with us with Vinny and Bo Show. Thank you so much.
All right. See you guys. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Bye bye. All right, that's good.